Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Gears of War 4 Inconceivable difficulty video walkthrough. This is Act 1, 2, and it's called In and Out. We're going to be moving inside of this Gears place. I'm not entirely certain what they call this. I think it's some kind of HQ. And we're going to be stealing a Fabricator. The Fabricator, for people who've played a lot of Horde mode, for people who've played the campaign before, will know is a device that enables you to create fortifications and to build weapons for certain amounts of points. I'm not entirely certain how the points work in the campaign, because you don't pick up any power, but they generally are quite generous, so that's cool. But this first fight is against a bunch of trackers once you've got to the bottom of this environment, and I'm just going to be showing you the technique of kicking them away and shooting them. If you kick them, they will go into a weakened state where a single shot, 2 or 3 shots, usually puts them down. It's much better than trying to shoot them, because the trackers have this wonderful technology that are present in the juvies as well, which is this almost sentient ability to dodge your reticle. The moment you aim at that enemy, it will do all kinds of crazy computer gymnastics to get away from being hit by you. And it can lead to some really intelligent moments, but some really stupid computer this is bullshit kind of moments, so be careful. This fight coming up here is going to be a bunch of the standard shepherds coming out of fixed spawn positions, which are well telegraphed by a red klaxon that flashes, and then from there you can proceed to hit them with the grenades and then shoot them. There's a few ways you can do this. I wanted to do this by being on the corner and shotgunning them, because that's what I've done on the other difficulties when I've come back to the game, but it doesn't really work because you don't kill them in one shot with a shotgun from up close, which is really dumb. Another great strategy is to chuck 2 grenades. 2 grenades per wave will kill them, but this is what I wanted to do using the shotgun. But did you see that DB survive the hit? And if they survive a hit, look how quick they damage you at this range. Like, you have to be on your toes, and you can also kill yourself with the electricity on the ground from your own grenade. So as much as I would have loved to have been super aggressive here and made it look really stylish and spawn kill them all, that's just not the way that it went. Because you cannot kill them as quickly as you should be able to kill them, and it frustrates me on a whole host of levels. Admittedly, I could have probably played it a little better, maybe been a bit sharper, but there comes a point when you can only shoot so much, right, so quickly. Like, this is a dangerous moment right now. I don't know why Kate's backed up so much or why that DB was so aggressive, but luckily enough, I use the cover and I make it work. You can also take cover on the Fabricator. This is one of the things that you're going to see me doing quite a lot. It can be tricky though, guys. It's a fiddly detection on the cover on the Fabricator, and it leads to a lot of opportunities where you'll roll into it and potentially die. Happens all the time. It's one of the problems that Gears has had since the dawn of time, and I think it stems from the way that cover is initiated and the way that leaving cover is initiated, and I always kind of hope that they change the buttons, because when you have A doing everything, it leads to ambiguous moments where you get the wrong thing, and 99% of the time, it's not a problem. You get what you want and you can deal with it accordingly. But every so often, you get into that moment where you're trying to panic and you're trying to get into cover and you press A too much and you end up jumping over the cover and it's immediate death. And it's frustrating, but it is player error at the end of the day, but at the same time, it could be alleviated if they use the buttons on the controller. Like, it makes more sense to me. This fight right now is pretty tricky because you'd think having a height advantage would be a benefit, but because the cover's so bad, it's not a benefit at all. And I wanted to commit to using this shock enforcer, which is perhaps not the best tool for the job. You could buy grenades from the Fabricator and just chuck the grenades, because you're not going to need them. This is the end of the mission. But I was just shooting them, just playing it cavalier. By no means the most effective, but good practice to getting back into the swing of things, getting your fingers on the sticks warmed up. This walkthrough took about 14 hours to record. I was watching the cutscenes though, which probably accounts for maybe about 6 or 7 of those hours. The longest difficulty spike was the Swarmak, which I knew it was going to be. Swarmak took me about an hour and a half, and I still think that it's a piece of shit fight, and I'm going to talk a whole lot about it. Second hardest part, as I've mentioned, was that do not go gently fight. Third hardest part was the plane section. But the plane section only took 20 minutes, so it could have been much worse. Fundamentally, I didn't die that much at all. The only times I really died was when I tried something crazy, when I was too aggressive, or on sections where you're going to die a few times because that's just the nature of the sections. Like the Pouncer room with the juvies in that circular chamber, the section where you defend the museum, you know, things like that. Things that you know you're going to have trouble with. But all the defense missions didn't have any problem with any of the Fabricator moments. I was very happy to say that because I was worried about those. But it turns out playing a lot of Horde mode teaches you how to place turrets and wire and things. You look at those missions completely differently once you've played enough Horde mode. But this is one of the moments where ammunition is actually interesting, even though I can just buy it from the Fabricator, so it's not a big deal. But I wanted to commit to the weapons I was using, even though there's a Marxer in there which would kill these dudes very quickly. And I believe that that's the end of the mission. So after you've done that, you can do Fabricator things and then finish off the level. Thank you very much for watching, and you take care now.